CatSynth TV.
Hey everybody, CatSynth TV. And in part 2 of our conversation with Calvin Weston, we talk about his work on John Zorn's labels, as well as his own music and philosophy. If you haven't already seen part 1, we recommend you check that out via the link above. And as always, please subscribe for more cultural content coming out regularly.
Diane Brown, Kato Hideki, and Avon Kane. Woo! That was all Avon Kane's idea. When we did that record, that was live at the Knitting Factory. Just all improv, just electric, screaming, violin. We basically just listened to each other at the Knitting Factory that night, and it was being recorded. After we got done, he got the recording, and he said he was going to take it to John Zorn. I said, okay. It was just a gig for me. Literally the next day, Avon called me and said, yo, man, I got a check for you. I said, you got a check for me? I said, what you mean you got a check for me? He said, John Zorn gonna put the record out. He wrote us all a check. And I'm like, what? And he gave me that check. I looked at it and said, what? Okay, cool. Actually, I think that was close to the last time that Avon and Kato and I played together. I think the record is called Miracle. This was heavy with Derek Bailey and Jamaluddin Takuma. Total improv, just total improv. And I remember being in the studio, John Zorn was sort of directing it. He would just like throw his hands up, point at us, shake his hand like this, sets his hand back, and it's all like emotion. Like if he do like this, that means just go nuts. Let's go nuts. And then he snatch his hand back, that means stop. And this means syncopate, and that's what we did, And as you can see, some of the songs on it is really long because we just improv. A Book of Angels, Volume 7, with Mark Rebo and Trevor Dunn. Those was all written pieces. They was all written pieces. I had music, Mark had music, Trevor had music, and again, on the improv wild parts, John Zorn is sitting in the middle of us in a chair with his legs crossed, with his arms just flaring in the air, and when it's supposed to go off, he just flare. And the stops, if you listen to the album, you see you have stops and starts of things. And when he wanted me to like play fast melodic lines with the melody, he would use his hands for everything, just flaring his hands, stuff like that. I really like the way that record turned out. Mark constantly was reading the melodies. You had to listen to the melodies. And we did that album in one day, actually. We did the whole album in one day. All the time where I'm playing with these other groups and having fun, I was also working on my own music. I did a record called Nasira, whereas though I actually played all the instruments, except for I overdub guitar with some people from California, Walter Weasel. His actual name is Weasel Walter. And he had this electric drum kit out there, and I started playing electric drum kit. I took the files out there and did that. Dance Romance with James Blood Ulmer, Jamaluddin Takuma, Faustina Dixon. That record was actually recorded in Germany on a friend of ours label named Frank Kleinsmith. The label was called In and Out Records. And it was done while we was on tour. And Blood just decided to say, hey, Calvin, why don't you ask Frank if you can do a record? I'll produce it. While we was there, Frank said, yeah, come on the studio. Let's do it. It was all improv except for one tune called Preview. That's one of James Blood Ulmer's tunes. Real fast melody lines, but it's all pretty much improv. We made up the words to the songs right on the spot in the studio, Jamal Dean and I. And I also sings on this record. A song called I Can Tell. James Blood Ulmer sing a part, Faustina Dixon sings a part, and then I sings a part. And it's sort of a love song type ballad thing. So that's how we done that record. Just straight, bam, in the studio, just went, did it, wrote down words while we was there, and it came out like that. It's another album that I did with Billy Martin and DJ Logic called For No One in Particular. That's all improv also. But in order for two drummers to play together and not get in each other's way, you basically have to think syncopation and loudness and softness. You know, when to get loud, when one person is getting loud and you hold back. When one drummer is getting loud, you hold back. And when the other one is getting loud, you hold back. And when, like if I'm going off just playing this totally free, Billy would hold down, so what we call an anchor. You know, he would keep it steady, and vice versa. When he would do something, I would hold it down for him. Now DJ Logic, he's like the icing on the cake, like the sprinkles, you know, throwing in the sound here and there, and we would improvise off his sounds that he would scratch out on his turntables. Improvisation is, for me, is about sound, and also listening to, we really have to listen to each other. But and it's all about having fun too. Billy and I did our first duets. It's called Percussion Duets. We did it in an old garage in the dead of winter, and the garage had no heat. So we had one of those big, long heat blowers. But the thing about that, when we record, we had to turn it off. So the sound wouldn't go on the recording. But see, it didn't matter because we were playing, so we was warming ourselves up. And he would have all percussions here, and we would just play, and he'd just go over somewhere. He'd even pick up some percussion and drop them on the floor, so to make a sound. So in that album, Percussion Duets, 25, 30 years old, 25, 30 years ago that we did that record with Billy Martin. I had a group called Treasures of the Spirits where we played the music of Mahavishnu Orchestra. One day I was sitting back and I said, you know what? I want to add some violins and a string section to my music. So I came up with a group and a band called the Phoenix Orchestra. I actually got the idea of putting a lot of strings on it from Mark Rebo because we used strings in the Young Philadelphians. After one tour, I came back home and all the music that's on the Phoenix Orchestra, Dusk and Ashes, the rhythm section is all improv. I would go over to the bass player and hum a bass line in his ear, and I'll say, play that, and just play that, and we just gonna go. And he'll play it, and we just went. Now the string section was all written out by a keyboard player named David Duvisky. he wrote out all the string parts. When we went in the studio, the rhythm section just played what they played. We all improv, and he had the string section in there, conducting the string section, and it turned out the way it turned out. So I'm really proud of that album there, just like all the rest of them that I played on. And Phoenix Orchestra, David Dubisky did a great job on that. We did it at a studio here in Philly called the Undercarriage that the guitar player owns. He runs Tom Spiker. He's also playing guitar on the Phoenix Orchestra album. Music has always been a part of my life, a part of my soul. Music to me is everything. It's the birds chirping in the sky. It's the rain falling on the ground. It's the thunder. Everything that's positive to me is music. I tell you, it was a gift. It was a gift for me because from the first time that I picked up the drumsticks, I started playing. I really remember the first song that I started playing was Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Over my cousin's house, he had this sparkling red drum kit. And he was playing and he was making noise. Maybe I'm digressing off the subject a little bit, but he was making noise. I said, man, you don't know how to play no drums. Give me them sticks. Let me play it. Yeah, you don't know how to play. And I said, put that record on right there. And he put on Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. And when I sat down behind the drums, I started playing that beat. Doom, boom, 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 boom. And right then and there, I knew, bam, it's in my soul. From then on, everything I did was music. I really don't have a philosophy on it, but I'm just going to say that I had the groove in me. So here at Soundscape Recording Lab, this is what I do. You can send me your tracks, okay? Send them to gcalvinweston@gmail.com. What I do is I listen to your track. I listen to it, see what kind of flavor I can put on it, what kind of icing I can put on your cake, and then I'll send you a 2-track stereo mix of the tune. If you like it, then we could talk business of my fee, and the fee is negotiable always. Once we come up to agreement and the money gets into my PayPal account, then I can send you the stems and you can got the ball from there. And I'm here in the studio practically 10 hours a day, doing stuff. I want to be on your next project. Okay? So come on, send me your tracks, gcalvinweston@gmail.com. And pretty soon, I'm going to have a Soundscape Recording Lab website up. But you still send your tracks to the gcalvinweston@gmail.com. Everything, when I play your track, I probably won't just send you just one track. When I listen to your track, and I'll be like, okay, let me do another one. Then I'll do another one, and I say, well, okay, let me just do another one. I might do 3 or 4 tracks for you, and send them to you so you can pick and choose which one, you like, or you can move this here, move that there, move that there. But it's all played with passion, sweat, some pain, because sometimes I hit my hands on the drums, and that hurts. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm true to my word, and I'll give you 100% 100+% of what I do here at Soundscape Recording Lab.
I also like to thank James Henry, my engineer, Billy Cobham, Narada Michael Walden, Poogie Bell, Aubrey Dell, and all my online supporters. Thank you.
To find out more about G. Calvin Weston, please visit his website and check out the description below this video. Thanks for watching. Check out more at www.catsynth.com and please subscribe to CatSynth TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching CatSynth TV.